Somebody hung a nickname on it.
What?
Somebody hung a nickname on it. Blue Thunder.
I've gotten up to, my top speed's about 37 on a fresh battery, while the motor's relatively cool. So I just got up to about 34, 35. And again, I'm heavier than a lot of the other testers for these bikes. You know, I mean, you know, one guy, I don't know, he hit like 40. But you know, he's only probably about 170, maybe 165. The guy out in California, what is it, Trail Happy? He's about 200, and he's what, 6'6" or something, you know. So I definitely, this is a 40 plus mile per hour bike, just with my weight, and the fact that I'm getting low in voltage. You know, I don't think I'll probably hit 37 right now. So anyway, all right. Okay, so we're going to start off the ride at about 60.9 volts. It's about, I don't know, the outside temperature says 68. I thought it was a little cooler than that. Motor's nice and cool. So far I've got 30, almost 37 miles on the existing battery. So let's see how many volts we use. Hopefully we can do about 20-25 miles. So I should have probably brought another GoPro set up along the road to get different angles, but again, this is just a test ride. You know, I'll eventually do a range test. So let me explain what I've done. So I've already driven this bike before, you know, full transparency, because obviously I did an initial test drive, needed some adjustments, took it to a local bike shop, they helped, and you know, it definitely performed better after some professionals worked on the brakes and, you know, tightened spokes and different things. The derailleur was bent during shipping, so needed a little tweaking. I put it together myself though, and I think I did a good job. But so, you know, I want to thank all the different YouTubers and the Facebook group for helping out. Learned a lot, and pretty happy with the bike. So anything that I've said that sounds a little bit of criticism, it's really just a nitpick. You know, anytime you buy a bike, not from a retail store, but a, you know, distribution, online distribution, you know, it's not necessarily that you're on your own, it's just that you have to have a little handiness, I think, to be able to fix things or whatever. So, but anyway, so this is the downhill portion of the little route that I'm going on. Usually hit about 25, 26, just coasting. You know, give the battery a break. We're at 59.6 volts right now with no load, no sag. And what I find is that the controller, I find like it takes a few miles for it to start balancing out the batteries. I don't know if that makes sense. It seems to always pull from the main battery first, and then after a little while it kicks in and starts pulling and balancing the two batteries more. That's just my experience. Now the the other thing is that if you hear any noise on the bike, you know, the derailleur is, you know, a very average component, not high end. The price doesn't justify a high end derailleur, but you know, so you get a little slack in, you know, like the lower gears. But now, like I'm in 4, it tightens up, and you don't hear a lot of slap. You might hear a little creaking. That's from my Cloud9 seat, I think, and not much I can do about that. So this is the part of the area I bike that I just use a little bit of throttle to get up the hill. I could certainly do it. I got plenty of leg power, but I like to kind of balance out my usage between my muscle power assist and the throttle, just to get an idea of, you know, usage and battery and so forth. So I don't know. Hopefully this is coming out good. So we're gonna go up to one of the parking lots of this complex here, and I could probably soften up the suspension a little bit, but I really don't want to sag too much. I have a full extension on my pedal stroke, so I feel like I get a good amount of power. I see a lot of YouTubers testing and their knees are really bent, and I like to almost fully straighten out my leg on the downward pedal. So about this bike, really great bike. I mean, I'm not going to go over specs. I mean, probably if you're watching this video, you've already watched whatever's available on YouTube or Ecells. A lot of information out there. A lot of information out there. So, you know, this bike is, again, this is not a paid promotion. Nobody's contacted me from Ecells. I have a small channel, you know. I don't even have 1,000 subscribers yet. So this is just for fun, really just for fun. So let me tell you a little bit about the bike. So this is a bone stock dual star Ecells 5-star bike, or what do they call it? Dual 5-star dual. And there's no extra options. Like, this is the cadence sensor. I didn't pay for anything extra, and I was able to get the bike in a matter of, like, I don't know, like 10 days after I ordered it, maybe less. It was already, the containers had already landed in California, and they had unspoken for bikes for one reason or another. And so I called up, and you know, they're like, I want a large 19-inch frame blue, and they have the one completely stock. And I was gonna put some accessories and options on there, but they're like, that'll be custom and your wait time will be, you know, quite a bit longer. So I was like, let's just do it, you know. I mean, torque sensors, I tried them on some other e-bikes, and you know, some people like them. I think it's good, but I like the cadence sensor. I like a higher cadence, get my heart rate up. Still building muscle in my legs. My legs are solid like rocks, and you know, I think that I'm happy with what I got. So I just want to thank Ecells, Dave Cleveland, and his team. I've never talked to Gator. I've talked to, I think her name is Bridget, customer service, or was it Brittany? They all seem to do a pretty good job. Learned a lot from the Facebook Ecells group. Those folks are real helpful. You know, like I said before, I'm an independent, you know, YouTuber. I have a small channel, looking to grow it, but I'm not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. You know, I put my own money into this bike. I put my own sweat into assembling it, tuning it, fixing a few things, and so. All right. So we're almost at 50 miles. Got just a couple miles left to go, a few miles. And where are we at? We're at about 58.1 volts. And so what I did is the mileage, I didn't do one straight shot. I've done it over like 3 different trips. I did like 15 miles the first trip, about 21 miles the next trip. So what I have 36 miles in, and that's what we I think start off with today. So my goal today was to put in about another 20-25 miles and hopefully get up to about 55-60 miles. Now if you're watching this, you're probably like, oh, they've gotten so much more out of the bike. Well, here's the thing. I've had it on pass 2, once in a while 3. I do use the throttle sometimes, so I think mine's a little more realistic. The other thing is I'm not a 200 pounder. I'm even heavier than Chit. You know, he's like what, 250, 240. You know, I'm north of 275. So, you know, rider weight, conditions, throttle assist, you know, PAS assistance, that's all going to make a difference in your range. Hills, flats, temperature, tire inflation, pressure, you know, the list goes on, right? So, you know, I think I've seen tests where this bike goes upwards to like 70, 80, 90, 100 miles. And maybe if you're doing PAS1 on flat land and you weigh 180 pounds, 165 pounds, I think that's possible. Absolutely. But for me, you know, I'm a larger rider, XXL, and I definitely have muscle. You know, I'm putting in some work here, but it, you know, it definitely makes a difference. So ultimately, we're gonna see. I don't want to kill the battery and go all the way down to 53 volts. You know, my goal is to hopefully get up. I got another 12 miles to go to hit 60. I think I got enough voltage to do that, more than enough. So let's get to 60 and see what happens. I'm gonna take a break in a few miles before I do the home stretch of another, you know, 12 miles or so. All right, let's take a break. I need a little break. We just hit 50 and a half miles. Give the motor a little chance to cool down and take a break. Okay, well, we took a little break. Motor's down to 132. Temperature wise, we're going to go up to a couple neighborhoods in the area and get my last several miles in, hopefully. And you know, we're at 50.6 right now, and I'd like to wrap up the ride at a solid 20 miles. So got well, it's like 5.5 or so miles to go. About 26% left on the GoPro, so we're going to use it sparingly to try to get some footage for the rest of the ride. So I'm just in PAS2, go up to gear 4, and probably doing, let's see, about 17. It's a comfortable cruise. crab apples, acorns, things like that on the side of the road. I mean, these tires go through a lot, but so just being careful, not going too fast. Definitely be careful on gravel. Well, my favorite road to bike on locally, it's like they're going to pave it, so it's going to be kind of rough traveling here, and there's definitely a lot of a lot of potholes, so I think we're going to go slow here. I'm in gear 3 right now, and we're going to go slow and be careful. I mean, the suspension can soak up the potholes. It's just there's a lot of loose material on the road here. I don't want to slide out on this big son of a gun here. Let's go up this road here. So this little side road's nicely paved, so go around here. 18 right now, miles per hour, and we're at 57 volts flat under load. It's important to note the difference between the battery voltage under load, where there's sag, and when you're just cruising. So under load right now it's 57.1, 57 even. I'll have to wear my chest rig so you can get video of the screen, but I figured you might just like this view for the scenery. And we're going to go back on the crappy unpaved road. See, the road is getting ready to be paved, but I'll tell you, these tires do a pretty good job. Suspension does a pretty good job. It's not I don't have it set to be buttery soft so that I have efficiency on my pedaling, but it still soaks up quite a few of the bumps here. No sharp turns. Be careful with braking. So the GoPro shut down for a little while. It must have overheated. But let me tell you, I'm about to hit 60 miles. And okay, so we ended up with 60.1 miles. So I start off with around 36, so 24 miles roughly. Ended at 154 degrees motor temperature. It's about 75 degrees air temperature, and we're down to 56.6 volts. So realistically, I probably have another, I don't know, if I drove conservatively, probably another 10, 12, maybe even 15 miles. It all depends. Shutoff's around 53. Now see how the battery's starting to recoup some of the voltage? Yeah, I think realistically this, for me, this is probably a 65 to 70 mile per hour range. Now today I was using PAS 2, 3, definitely some throttle, and I did do one top speed run in PAS 5 just for a little bit. I didn't get quite up to full speed, but yeah, so she definitely works pretty well. There she is. Well, we'll check out the GoPro footage a little bit later. Well, thanks for coming along on this ride with me today. Hopefully the video comes out good. As always, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Put them in below and I'll get back to you. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.